Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to a love tarot reading where I wanted to kind of see the energies that you're going to be dealing with leading up to Valentine's Day using the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the traditional tarot merged in with a little bit of my typical history lessons or psychology lessons, biology lessons. You guys know me. If you've ever been here, I like to get into Middle Ages concepts when I do readings and read things the traditional way. For you guys, leading up to Valentine's Day, these energies of the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Wands are really interesting. And the Moon card. This feels like somebody is trapped. I want you to look at what just showed up here. First, historically, the Nine of Wands is the card of the Palisade. I say this lesson all the time whenever I talk about this card. If you don't know what a palisade is, in history, in the Middle Ages, there was castles, fortresses, and on the outside of these castles, if you've ever seen a picture of a medieval castle, it is a depiction of a castle with big wooden sticks around it. There's usually these big spiky wooden sticks that are like a defensive measure of that fortress. That stick, like blockage, is called the palisade. It is a defensive measure, and the Nine of Wands is a picture of a palisade. That's what this card is about. It is about somebody who's very suspicious, so they have put up a wall. So you may be dealing with a situation where either your walls are up or someone has put up a wall because they're very suspicious of you. But look at the similarity of what's happening here. No better card to describe the energy of being walled up than the Eight of Swords, showing instead of the wall of the palisade, it's showing the wall of swords surrounding this person. A lot of people consider the Eight of Swords connected to situations like incarceration, by the way. This isn't going to be for everybody. Sometimes we are just walled up in our own personal situations, but other people are quite literally stuck behind a wall or stuck behind bars. But the fact that you have that energy showing up in two different cards is phenomenal. Now I want you to look at what's happening in the middle of this reading. The Moon card depicts, people always miss this about the Moon card. It depicts two towers. Do you know what these towers are? Those are prison towers. Why do you know that they're prison towers? Because they've got no windows except for the top one and no door out. They are quite literally a depiction of being imprisoned in a situation that someone put themselves in, which is the meaning of the Eight of Swords. You see, the Eight of Swords gets branded as the card of self-sabotage because this person, if only they could take the blindfold off, they would see that they are surrounded by the very things that could cut them free of the situation that they're in. But for some reason, they are blinded. That's why the blindfold is on, right? They are blinded to the situation of how to get out of all of the darkness and the confusion. And in this case, the imprisonment that they have put themselves in. Now, in these cards, there's a bit of an answer for that. And the answer is laying in the Moon card. The Moon card has a depiction of two dogs on it, or two wolf figures, one red and one golden. And these two creatures, these two beasts, are howling at the moon. Their bodies are driving them nuts as they howl at this moon. If you've ever heard the story of werewolves howling and transforming in a full moon, or if you've ever heard of the concepts of a full moon impacting men and making them go crazy, or women going into labor and delivery wards at a hospital will tell you that some of their busiest days are during a full moon. They will actually staff more people on those full moon days because they know there's going to be an increase of births. The moon is a very interesting dynamic in its connection to the human body. Now, these wolves are depicted here because this was well known for hundreds of years or thousands of years. And when I say it's been known like that, it's been known that the human body goes wild. So those two dogs represent the carnal body. When I say that, when I'm talking about somebody who's got themselves into a self-sabotage situation, or somebody has done something in the dynamic of a relationship with you that is being led by their carnal body, I want you to think about what kind of things happen with a body that's being led from its lower beast form. These are things like eating, overeating, lazy habits of sloth, sexual activities, addictions to substances, right? All of these concepts, you could think of them like the 7 deadly sins. Those 2 dogs on this card, from a traditional tarot perspective, are being led by those kind of addiction qualities. An addiction can even be like overthinking, or in the case of my child who seems to be yelling in the other room over his Mario Party game, it can be addictions that can come from anger and wrath. I think he just lost a star in Mario Party and he's not happy. I'm going to have to pause this video for a second. Now, when we're not talking about my children in the other room here, this kind of dynamic happens to adults all the time, where they are leading their life because of the overeating or the sloth or the laziness or the sexual habits of the body here. And in fact, this little lobster represents Scorpio. It's a scorpionic energy, a Plutonian kind of energy, which is often connected to those underworld and lustful behaviors. Really, in the end, this is a long, drawn-out way to say that whoever got themselves stuck in a situation where they feel like they are suspicious or they feel like they're burdened, it could be both of you, because both people could be mirrored in this energy. There are 2 towers, 2 people, both of them are stuck. They could have been stuck and sabotaging themselves in ways connected to how their body was functioning. And now as we ask the question, what is the energy leading up to Valentine's Day? Instead of it being about people coming together, it's about people focusing on that body and how to unstick their old habits. This is what your reading is about, my dears. I was about to mention earlier that these 2 dogs, if I forgot to say this, I'll say it now. These 2 dogs or wolves here, they actually purify themselves. They purify the situation of the carnal body taking control of them so much, always having to think about lustful energies or letting them be led with their eating habits or whatever habits they're being led by. These 2 wolves turn white once you get to the card of the 10 of Pentacles. They go through an active purification process. So that very well could be what you or your person is going to be dealing with if you do have somebody in mind, or if you're just on your own, this could be it. It's all about purification and refining yourself. For those of you who have somebody in mind, I will just do a little bit of an extra shuffle here. If you want to know what your person is thinking about you, I didn't do this for every single reading, but I feel compelled to do it for you here because in this dynamic, it looks like you're going to be kind of on your own leading up to Valentine's Day. So it's worth kind of seeing how you could move forward. Okay. This is a very straightforward reading. I always invite people, if they ever want to investigate what each card is, like if you go to ChatGPT or you Google them, then you can learn about a card deeply. And what you have here for what your person thinks about you is the 3 of Pentacles in the reversal, the 10 of Wands in the upright, and the 2 of Wands in the upright position. I will put this very straightforwardly for you, but I invite you, like I said, to investigate these for yourself as well. The 10 of Wands is a very evident energy of somebody putting the situation down. It is too heavy for them. The 3 of Pentacles in the reversal, over 100 years ago, this card was called the card of pettiness. It insinuates that this person does not have an interest in dealing with conversations or communication because either they are petty or they perceive you to have an energy of communication that's petty, or they don't like the communication style that you have, or maybe that's them. And the 2 of Wands energy is when somebody has to make a decision at the crossroads, but the decision that they have to make is, do they stay in the land of sorrow? This is the old historical tradition of this card. Do they stay in the land of sorrow, or do they go off to conquer things in the world so they can obtain happiness? Judging by these previous cards, this person in the upright position is interested in moving towards a better and more fulfilling path, just like that little path in the background here, right? If this was in the reversal, then they would allow themselves to stay in the same energy of sorrow. But it's in the upright position. It does insinuate they're choosing to go forward, and these 2 cards look like the reason why. That is a very to the point kind of idea for those of you who are dealing with somebody. Does that mean that this person is going to be thinking this way of putting things down forever? Not necessarily for each of you, it's different, but as of now, leading up to Valentine's Day, since that's what we're talking about, that's absolutely the energy that's showing up here. At this point in time, somebody does not look interested in pursuing this dynamic. So with that being said, I know that I always love when we have a really beautiful energy come up of like abundance. Who doesn't like cards of abundance and blessing? But when we do have harder energies, I'm going to be the first person to tell you how it is in a very straightforward manner. And I invite you then to step into this energy of the Two of Wands, because this particular story, in the historical perspective of the Two of Wands, is the card of Alexander the Great. So this could be, we're reading about your person right now because we just asked, what does your person think of you? They want to go forward to conquer things in their life. Even though we're talking about them, I also invite you to conquer things in your life as well, because it is a very important thing to put yourself, your safety, and your views and desires at the forefront of your life so that you can achieve the best growth that you can. So I will leave you off with that. And if you are interested in some more readings about your horoscope sign and love leading up to Valentine's Day, you can check out the extra videos that I have already got uploaded for you on the front of my TikTok. They are the most recent videos. You can check those out. And of course, if you'd like a private reading to see how things are going throughout the rest of your year, or if there's anything new in love coming in, I do have a Valentine's Day sale going on right now. You can always look at that at the link in my bio or at the information in the description below this video, and we can always set you up for a private reading. I will talk to you later, guys. Thank you very much, and ciao for now.